Hi everyone, Blake Jones here. In this episode of How Do You Do That, we're going to give you a tour through Resolve 18. It's important to note that Resolve 18 is still in the beta stage, and so we're going to go over all the things how to prep your system if you're going to install Resolve 18, and how to prepare yourself in case you want to revert back to Resolve 17 for whatever reason. Then we're going to give you a small tour over all the features that are included in Resolve 18. Okay, so it's important to point out that when you're working with Resolve 17, you can easily upgrade to Resolve 18. It's important, though, to back up your database first, because you can upgrade a database, but you can't downgrade a database. So if you were to upgrade to Resolve 18 and then upgrade your database, and then you say, oh, I want to go back to 17, you'll be greeted with a little triangle like you see here, because you can upgrade, but you cannot downgrade. So the trick to this is you come to the database that you want to be able to use in either version, and then you have two buttons here. One is backup and one is restore. Make a backup of this. Select where you want it to go. I'll say let's put it on the desktop. Select save, backup, and then once it's finished, it'll say database is backed up successfully. This way you can upgrade the existing database, and then if you wanted to revert back to Resolve 17, all you have to do is call up the database that you have just backed up in the Resolve 17 format. Okay, so once that's done, now what we want to do is let's close Resolve, and then what we want to do next is go to the support page on the Blackmagic Design website, and we have the two options here, either the Studio public beta for 18 or the Resolve 18 public beta. This is the free version. So you have to decide whether you're running on a Mac or Windows machine or a Linux computer, then you can download that. Once it's finished, then you'll have it on your computer. Then what you want to do is select Resolve 18, click on install. Now it's important to note that your license dongle and your license keys that you have from earlier versions of Resolve will also be working on Resolve 18. You do not need to buy a new license. Everybody always asks about that, but it's not necessary. Okay, so then we're greeted with this message, and then as you can see, here are the key features, and then we have continue, agree to it, install, and now the installation process is working. Okay, now it's told me the installation was successful. You can click on close. Let's keep the software. Let's close the installer. And then now what I want to do is the installer package. Let's just eject it. And now I want to start up Resolve 18 now. Okay, so now as you can see here, we have two libraries that are able to be upgraded. So as you can see, this is the one that we had. We had a Resolve 16 database and a Workshops one. So what happens now is, as you can see, there is our upgrade buttons that we have. And then if we want to upgrade, then we have to click on the Upgrade Project Library button. As you can see, then once it's finished, now we have our projects that we can work with there. As you can see, I had 2 databases that were already in the Resolve 18 format. And then I can then come over here, select this project, double click on it, and now I'm ready to go. So here we are, and there we're playing our clips back now. Okay. So if we come back first to the media page, we've got all our various clips that we have here. Okay. And the media page looks very similar to what we see in Resolve 17. And then as we come over to the cut page, then we have our functions that go together with this. We can select our disable all proxies, prefer proxies. Now this is something that's important to talk about, because when you come and when you actually update to Resolve 18 and you go into your applications area, you'll have this program that's been added for you, which is called the Blackmagic Proxy Generator. This will allow you to generate proxies in the background for all the media that you're going to be working on. And all you have to do is press start, select the things, and then it will go into your watch folders, and then you're all set to go. The other thing to be on the lookout for here is inside the project manager. As you can see now, we have local, network, and we have cloud databases. So this can be our local network, and then we also have our cloud network. So what you can do is actually create a Blackmagic cloud account, so this way you can share the database with other users, even in different locations, for example. Also, if you come over and decide that I want to create a network library, then this is using the Postgres SQL connectivity, and so you basically select your name and then afterwards create, and then this will work. In order to do this, however, it is necessary that the project server app be installed. So the project server app needs to be installed, and then this will basically create all the piping that's needed in the networking, so this way you can share your database with other users, for example. And this allows you to use your collaboration mode, for example, here. So as you can see here, you can look on the top here. This is your disk database, your PostgreSQL database area, and also your cloud database section here. And then also here, you can sort your project library and also restore. The backup button has been changed on Resolve 18. It's if you come to your local database, for example, select information, or rather details, and then there is your backup button here. You can also reveal in the Finder where it's actually stored on your computer. And then if you want to upgrade an existing database, just click on the little arrow here. If you want to remove a database, right mouse click on it and then select remove. Okay, so I'm going to open this up now. We've got our media page where we load our media for use for color correction. And then there's the cut or the edit page for editing. And then we have our Fusion page. And then we come next to the color page, which I always say is sort of the heart of Resolve. And then on here we have our custom curves, color warper, qualifier, windows, windows tracking, magic mask, object tracking. And basically all you do is draw a line within the area you want to track, and then it will track it. The next is our defocus, sharpen, or promist. And then finally we come to our key mode, sizing, and then here are our various sizing modules. We have the edit sizing, which is the sizing on the edit page, or sizing that is encoded into our XML document. And then we have our input sizing, which is scene by scene size changes. And then we have our output sizing for the overall project. And then we have node sizing. This is sizing that's encoded into a node graph area. And then finally we have our reference store sizing. So if I want to change the size of an image that is stored in our gallery, we can change it right there. And then the last one is only used when we're doing stereoscopic grading. Over here we've got our keyframe area, and then we've got our scopes, and then our project information area that's here. Now in the top area we've got our gallery images, we've got our viewer, we've got our node graph area, and then our Openfx plugins. Now you'll find a lot of new Openfx plugins that are included with Resolve 18. So for example, we have our depth map, and we have things like texture pops and warper, waviness, things like this that are all included in this area. Some have been there with Resolve 17, and there are many new plugins that have been introduced with Resolve 18. For example, even in the beauty area, we have, in addition to face refinement, we also have the beauty mode, and when we put that in here, we also have the advanced control. We have ultra beauty now, which will give us much more enhanced effects for touching up skin tones. Next we come over, we've got our Fairlight page, and this can be customized depending on our requirements there. And then the next thing we do is we've come to our Deliver page here. Now in the Deliver page you'll notice some changes here, especially under YouTube. You have a preset for 720p, 1080p, 1440p, or 2160p. And then also for Vimeo, 720, 1080, or 2160. We also have our Twitter preset for 720 or 1080, and then also a preset for Dropbox, and then also for Frame.io, and then also now we have presets for Disney, Netflix, or Sony Pictures IMF format for that. And then we have our round trip settings for Final Cut Pro, Premiere, and also Avid. So we can either work in YRGB or we can use YRGB color managed. This gives us the added advantage this way. If I want to come over here and create an HDR version, I can then come over here and change like so, and now I'm already in HDR mode. Or if I want to go back to SDR, I can then change this to SDR Rec 709 and then save it like so. The other thing you'll find here is you've got your enabling for Dolby Vision, HDR10+, HDR Vivid, and also for LUTs that will be put on a project basis here. Also, what happens here is, as you can see here now, once I put color managed, it's actually reading the codec data from the camera when it was shot. And so as you can see, the pictures already look much better to start off with, even though there's been no grading applied at this point. That's why I always encourage people to use a color managed workflow when they're going to be doing their grading. It'll make it so much more simpler when you're going to work with this. Okay, so bringing us back to the color page, what we're going to do here is we have a look at the primary color correction area. So what we have over here is we've got the color wheels to start off with, our lift, gamma, and gain like we're used to seeing, an offset control. And then we've got our various adjustments on the top and bottom. And then we also have a second option here, which is called high dynamic range color wheels. And so this changes the reaction, or actually how our controls are going to be allocated. So we now have it in dark, shadows, lights, and global. And then if we click on this button here, we have our zones. So we can actually allocate our areas for dark, shadows, and light, highlight, and specular, and we can actually create our new zone if we want. And then this is extremely useful when you're going to be doing HDR grading. So this way you can color correct the levels in the dark areas, the light areas, the midtones, everything like that. So it gives you unprecedented control. Then we have our Rgb Mixer, as we had before. And then our motion effects, which is noise reduction. We have temporal, spatial, and motion blur. And then over here we've got our color match. So this is what we use if we have used a color chart during the shoot. We can use this for setting up our color for this. And then we can change our camera raw files on a shot-by-shot basis. So as you can see, these are H.264 files, so this area is actually grayed out because it does not identify it. If I switch to a Blackmagic raw file, automatically the section becomes live, and then I can come over here and change the decode quality, or I can change it on a clip-by-clip basis to what we want here. So there we have it. For more information about training services, have a look in the comments below. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Think about subscribing to my channel so this way you can be alerted to all the new upcoming videos. And also think about becoming a Patreon member. There are a lot of great perks there. So I hope to see you soon. Thanks a lot for watching.